Okay, like always, we're going to start standing up at the top of your mat. Come into Tadasana. Your feet are about hip width apart. So lift your toes, spread them wide, and place them back down. Inhale your shoulders up towards your ears and roll them back. And your shoulder blades descend towards your hips. Isometrically drag your feet toward each other, firing up all those muscles in your legs. Then begin to rotate your upper inner thighs towards the back. And then tuck your tailbone under, tilting your pelvis back. That will give your spine a little bit more length. Stretch the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And tuck your chin in just a little bit. Your gaze is off towards the horizon. Maybe let your eyes close if you're stable. Breathing in and out through your nose. And then begin to engage your mula bandhas, your pelvic floor muscles. That will tighten the bottom of your rib cage. Not your rib cage, the bottom of your pelvis. Those are the muscles that keep all your organs from falling out. The muscles that you use to control urination and voiding. And you're building heat right now. And now add to that the Uddiyana bandhas, those lower abdomen muscles halfway between your navel and your pubic bone. That will restrict your breathing to more in your chest and into your belly. And maybe you can feel the heat begin to rise. You're still engaged with all those muscles. And then add to it your Jalalahara bandhas, the back of your throat, your glottis. Begin to close that off so that you can hear your breath. That will help keep your focus inside your body. And again, maintain your heat. On your next inhale, open your eyes. And on an inhale, arms out, up overhead, keys up, palms together. And then exhale, let your arms float all the way back down by your side. Inhale again, all the way up, arch your back, gaze up. And then let your arms float all the way back down by your side again. One more time, inhale, arms up overhead. And this time, swan dive, all the way over, bringing your hands or your fingers all the way to the mat. Your knees can be bent a little or a lot. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. And with each inhale, see if you can straighten your legs a little bit more. Each exhale, forward fold a little more. You're stretching your collarbones towards your feet, the crown of your head towards the mat. You're stretching your hamstrings and your gastrocnemius muscles in your calves.
And on your next inhale, come up halfway, gaze at that horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, using your legs, rise all the way up, arms out overhead, palms together, and then palms to Samasthiti. Exhale to Tadasana. Another time. Inhale, arms out and up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Another 5 breaths. Notice if your spine is a little more limber, if your hamstrings are a little bit kinder to your intention. Your gaze is between your knees. Breathe deeply here. When you exhale, maybe by getting all the air out, you can get just a little bit more compression. And then on your next inhale, come up halfway, gaze at that horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, and hands to Samasthiti. And then Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive all the way over. Right hand is on the mat. And on your inhale, your left arm comes out to the side and up to a twist for 5 breaths. In Ashtanga, we hold breaths or hold a pose for about 5 breaths. And then all the transition poses is 1 breath, 1 movement. And 5, exhale that left hand down and inhale the right arm all the way back up. Try to get your your shoulder blades vertical. And 5, exhale, hands down. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead, and hands to Samasthiti. In Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead. This time, pause, grab your left wrist with your right hand, weight into your left foot, and begin a side bend to the right. Push that left hip out. Keep those arms in line with your ears. Maybe you can look up at the eye of your elbow. The right hand is pushing the left hand longer, out to the side. Very little weight in your right foot. On your next inhale, rise all the way back up, switch sides. And exhale, side bend to the left. Almost all your weight comes into your right foot. Your left toes keep you balanced. And 5, inhale, rise all the way back up. Hands together and hands to Samasthiti and Tadasana. Now we start the warm up. Namaskar A, we're going to do 1 and we're going to hold the plank for about 10 breaths. You can come down maybe at breath 6, 7, 8 and hover 1 inch above the floor if you wish. Your choice. So inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and pause here. Your gaze is straight down between your hands. Draw the eyes of your elbows towards the front of the mat and your fingers towards each other, isometrically, of course. This is to shock your shoulders and get blood moving much quicker. It will make all the vinyasas a lot easier. Remarkably, after you do a few, you'll think that you get stronger rather than weaker. Come down and hover if you wish. And then release all the way down, toenails down, push the floor away, lifting your chest up into cobra. And exhale, curl your toes under. Your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Walk out your dog. And 5, look between your hands, hop, step, or float. In front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. And hands to Samasthiti and Tadasana. Now we do 3 more without pause. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And hold here for 5 breaths. Drop your shoulders, drop your chest between your shoulders. Straighten your legs. By pushing your heels down. And 5, looking between your hands, hop, step, or float. In front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. And hands to Samasthiti, and then Tadasana. Another. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And pause here. Slow down your breathing. And 5, look between your hands, hop, step, or float. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. And hands to Samasthiti and Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway, gaze at that horizon. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. 5 more breaths. And 5, looking between your hands, hop, step, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. And hands to Samasthiti and Tadasana. Now we're going to do 2 Namaskar Bs. The first will just be straight. The second will pause in the warriors. So to begin, on an inhale, drop your seat, raise your arms up into the Badakanasana chair pose for 5 breaths. Gaze is up, stretch out those arms longer, drop that seat a little more, maybe tuck your tailbone under. 4. And on your 5th exhale, forward fold over straight legs. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Oh, I'm sorry. Right leg forward. Inhale. Rise up, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank, come down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot turns out, left foot steps forward. Inhale, arms up to warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And this is where we pause. Slow down your breathing. And 5. Looking between your hands. Hop, step, float. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Listen carefully. On your inhale, drop your seat. Raise your arms up to Badakanasana. Then rise all the way up. In hands to Samastitihi. And then Tadasana. Okay, now we'll pause at the first warrior one. So on your next inhale, drop your seat, raise your arms up with Badakanasana. Up that tailbone under. Lift and straighten those arms a little bit more. Maybe drop a little lower. And exhale, forward fold over straight legs. Inhale up halfway, gaze at that horizon. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot steps out. Right foot comes forward. Inhale, rise up to warrior one for 5 breaths. Check your pose. Your chest should be high. Gazing up towards the corner of the ceiling and wall. Left foot should be all engaged with your mat. And then listen carefully. Let your arms float out by your side, coming down behind you. Interlace your fingers however you wish. Push your knuckles down, lifting up your chest. And exhale, forward fold into humble warrior. Inside that right leg. Crown of your head coming down towards the mat. Your knuckles going up. And 5, release your bind. Rotate your arms all the way back up to warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot turns out, left comes forward. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. And pause here. 4. And 5. Arms float down and behind. This time, interlace your fingers the opposite way. Push your knuckles down, lifting up your chest. And then exhale, fold forward into humble warrior. Crown of your head down. Your knuckles up. Inside that left knee. And on your next inhale, come back up. Hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank. Come down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And pause here for 5 breaths. Dropping your chest between your shoulders. And then look between your hands, hop, step, or float. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Listen carefully. Inhale, drop your seat. Raise your arms up, Badakanasana. And then continue rising all the way up. Hands together, and then to Samastitihi and Tadasana. Okay, shake that out. Sorry about the pause. Okay, so now we have started standing poses. This is Badakanasana and then Pashmitasana, Tadasana. Anyway, you'll know. On your exhale, hop feet apart, mat width. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Grab onto your big toes. Inhale, come up halfway. Gaze at that horizon. And exhale, forward fold. Now use the strength in your arms to help the crown of your head come down towards the mat. Use your legs to lift your sacrum, stretching your hamstrings. And 5, release. Inhale, come up halfway, gaze at that horizon. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. And hands to Samastitihi. And then to Tadasana. This time it's Pashmitasana. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. This time, place your palms underneath the soles of your feet. Maybe you can get your big toe, your other toes to your wrist crease. Inhale, come up. Trying to get your back parallel to the floor, straighten your legs. And then exhale, forward fold. This is a great counter for the vinyasas that you've been doing. Stretching out your shoulders, your arms, your forearms, and wrists. 4 and 5. Release your bind. Inhale, come up halfway, gaze at the horizon. Exhale, forward fold, gaze at the horizon between your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. Hands to Samastitihi, to Tadasana, then hop your feet back. You have another vinyasa if you wish to do it. This is primarily just to keep your body heat. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step and go back to plank. And down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And pause here for 5 breaths. And walk out your dog. If your heels are touching, your dog is not long enough. And 5, looking between your hands, hop, step, or float. In front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale up, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Arms overhead. Hands to Samastitihi. And then Tadasana. Okay, next is triangle and revolved triangle. So
We start off with a giant step with your right foot towards the back of your mat. So inhale to the back, arms come out into T. Check your shoulders, make sure that they're square to the side of your mat. Drop that front hip, raise the back, and then tip your triangle, bringing that right arm down inside, somewhere along that right leg. Can be your thigh, can be your knee, can be your ankle. In 5, inhale, rise all the way back up into T. Rotate your feet towards the other side. Drop that left hip, raise your right, and then tip your triangle this direction. Now, if you have shoulder issues, you can always modify by leaving that right hand on your hip or behind you. The goal here is to get your shoulder blades vertical. So you can pry against your left leg and then lean back, fall back, get vertical. And then on your next inhale, rise all the way back up. Rotate your feet towards the back. This time, step that left foot in just enough so that you can do revolved triangle. You may modify this in a minute. Rotate your arms so you're facing the back of your mat and then towards the right side of your mat. And then on an exhale, forward fold, that left arm coming down on the outside of that right leg. Left hand can be up in the air, behind your back, or on a hip. Draw that right hip back. Naturally wants to come forward and out. 4 and 5. Inhale. Windmill your arms all the way back up into T. Rotate your feet. Rotate your shoulders so that you're looking forward and then to the left. And then exhale, revolve triangle. Notice if this side is any different. Draw that left hip back. Getting a nice hamstring stretch on the left. And a twist in your core. In 5. Exhale, bring your arms back forward. You look forward, step your right foot in to meet your left, hands to Samasthiti and Tadasana. Another vinyasa. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Four. And 5. Look between your hands. Hop, step, or float. Forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. Hands to Samasthiti. And then to Tadasana. This time we have side angle and we'll go from there. So another giant step back with your right foot. So it's the back of your mat. This time, come into warrior 2. That front leg is bent. Check your hands to make sure that they're roughly parallel to the floor. And then on an exhale, bend that right elbow. Bring your forearm down on top of the middle of your right thigh and revolve that left arm up overhead and reach for the intersection of the wall and ceiling. And use that right arm on your thigh to bend back, fall back, getting your shoulder blades vertical. 4 and 5. Inhale, straighten your legs, come back up into T, rotate your feet, and then back into warrior 2 on the left.
On your exhale, bend that left arm down onto your thigh. Rotate the right arm up overhead. And stretch everything you have between your right fingernails and your right toes. And 5, inhale, straighten back up, arms to T. Rotate your feet again towards the back. This time we're going to do a prayer twist. So you can adjust your left foot so that it's facing the back of your mat. Arms into T, facing the back of your mat. Front knee is bent. Bring your hands together in Samasthiti, that heart center. Rotate the chest to the right. And then forward fold down, catching your right knee with your left elbow into prayer twist. Push your left heel away. And 5. On an inhale, come all the way back up. Arms to T, facing the right side of your mat. Rotate your feet towards the front. Bring your hands to heart center. Bending that left knee. Rotate your prayer twist on this side. Again, use that thigh. Try to get your shoulder blades vertical. In 5, release, come back to center, rise up, look at your front foot, step forward into Samasthiti, and then Tadasana. Another vinyasa, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And rest here. And 5, looking between your hands, hop, step, or float. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. And hands to Samasthiti and Tadasana. Next is the Prasarita series, A, B, C, and D. So another giant step back with your right foot. This time facing the side of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, chest high. Then on an exhale, forward fold. Bring your chest forward and then your crown of your head down towards the mat. You can drop your hands to the mat anytime. The crown of your head is the target. Now, that may be a couple of years away, a couple of centuries away from getting your head all the way down. That's okay. This is a groin opener. And then bring your hands to your hips or to your thighs and inhale, rise all the way back up. Move your hands to the back of your hips. So your thumbs are pointing at each other. Your elbows are trying to reach each other. Lift your chest high. And then exhale, forward fold, drawing your collarbones down. And then the crown of your head down as you come forward. And your gaze is out at the horizon behind you. Keep those elbows working. And 5, on your inhale, use your elbows to help you rise all the way back up. Bring your arms out into T. Thumbs down, and then bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers however you wish. Push your knuckles away, lifting up your chest, and then forward fold. Prasarita C. As your chest comes down, the crown of your head comes down, your knuckles go up towards the ceiling or towards the wall that your toes are pointing towards. And 5. On an inhale, use your hands to help lift your chest all the way back up. This time, bring your arms out into T. Inhale, chest high, and exhale, forward fold. And as you come down, your arms can come onto your legs. They can come to your big toes. And 5. On your next inhale, rise all the way up using your legs. Bring your arms out into T. And then onto your hips. To get your feet back together, you can heel toe, or you can just pop your feet together. Then turn towards the front, step forward into Tadasana. We have another vinyasa. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And 5, look between your hands. Hop, step, or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms overhead. Hands to Namaste, and then Tadasana. We have one more standing series that we're going to do today. And this is Uttita Badakanasana. So come to Tadasana and bring your weight into your left foot. Spread your toes wide. Bring your weight into your left foot. And then lift your right knee, grabbing onto your big toe with your right peace fingers. And then begin straightening that leg out in front of you. Now your leg may look like a broken back leg of a dog, but that's okay. And 5, release. This time, bring that foot out to the right. And if that is too difficult, you can always just grab onto your right knee. With that right knee out to the right. And up, grab onto that. You can also use a strap if you wish. And 5, back to center and down. Step that out. I'll be kind today. So from here back to Tadasana. Spread your right toes. Bring the weight into that leg. Lift your left up. Grab onto your left big toe with your peace fingers. And straighten that leg out in front. Straighten your spine. That's more important than the straight leg. In 5, maybe you can just swing that leg out to the right or just transition into holding on to that left knee to the left. Then bring that foot back to center and then down. Step that out.
I see some of you have jumped the gun, so you're going to get the same thing again. Lucky you. Back to Tadasana. Bring your weight into your left foot. Lift that right foot up 1 inch. And then on an inhale, bring the sole of that foot straight out in front, raising that leg up. You might not get very high, but that foot is flexed. In 5. From here, maybe you can transition directly into tree. Maybe you have to put your foot down, that's okay. Now your foot can be anywhere except on the knee. If you're stable, you can grow your branches. I never learned the Sanskrit name for branches or for tree either. And release, step that out. This time, Tadasana, weight into the left foot. Lift the right foot up 1 inch, or sorry, lift the left foot up 1 inch. Bring your sole out in front and lift that foot as high as you can. This is really working on your hip flexors, your left psoas in particular. In 5, transition to your tree. And grow your branches if you're stable. Knowing that if you begin to lose control, increasing the pressure at the bottom of your foot on your thigh really helps. In 5, release. Hands back down to Tadasana. Okay, we're going to do one more vinyasa and end up in Dandasana on the mat. So inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step or jump back to plank and down halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Four. And 5. Looking between your hands. Jump through if you wish. You can always come down onto your knees. Bring your feet out in front of you. And Dandasana. From here, bring your hands next to your hips, or if your legs are bent because you have really tight hamstrings, just move your hands back 1 inch or so, and your calves will mysteriously lower. Inhale, lift the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And this is an energetic pose, so be pushing the floor away. And 5, release. Okay, you can opt to do a bump up, crossing your ankles, lifting your knees high. You can use blocks if your arms are short. And on an inhale, lift up. And then kick your feet out in front. The next is Pashmitasana. From here, I suggest you get your feet hip width apart, which is 2 fist widths. Inhale, your spine tall, and exhale, forward fold, grabbing onto your toes with each hand and drawing your collarbones forward, front of your head towards the far wall. Moon the person behind you, that will give you a little bit more forward fold. Should be also feeling this in your hamstrings. And 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up.
And exhale, forward fold. This time, make a bind around the bottoms of your feet or maybe just the outsides of your feet. Again, your collarbones come forward. Stretch your hamstrings. Again, this is energetic. Use your shoulder blades down low to pull. In 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. Cross your ankles. Lift your knees up high. And on an inhale, bump up. And then kick your feet forward. Now, we have Janusirsasana. So bend your right knee, bring your right sole into your left inner thigh. Inhale your spine tall, and exhale, reach both hands for your toes of the left foot. Drawing your collarbones forward, crown of your head towards the far wall. You may be able to get into your hamstring a little more, being in asymmetric pose, maybe not. 4 and 5. Release. Inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, forward fold, make a bind across the bottom of your foot. And 5 more breaths. Try to straighten that left leg, drawing that left hip back. And 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. This time, bring your left foot up with your right foot up with your hands and bring that heel, if it works for you, bring that heel to your left hip crease. Be aware if your right knee hurts or has any sensation at all, don't do it. You can always put your foot back down, like in Janu. But from here, inhale tall, and then on an exhale, forward fold again, reaching for that left foot. Your right knee will probably drop towards the mat a little bit, which is fine. That's opening up that hip a little bit more, preparing you for Padmasana or Lotus pose. But not if you're twisting your knee. In 5, release. Inhale all the way back up. Release that right leg out to meet the left. And the left knee, left sole into your right inner thigh. Inhale tall. And exhale, forward fold, reaching for your toes. And notice if this side is different. And 5, release. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, forward fold. Bind across the bottom of that foot if you can. And notice where you feel this. Don't forget to moon the person behind you. That will tilt your pelvis, getting you maybe another ½ inch. And 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. Lift your left foot up. Bring your left heel into your right hip crease. Inhale tall and exhale, forward fold. Maybe this side works for you this week. Maybe it doesn't. And 5, release. Inhale. Release your left foot out to meet the right. Cross your ankles. Bring your knees in and high. Ready for a bump up. On your inhale, bump up. Get your feet up. Bring your hands behind your hips. Lean back and put your footprints on the mat about hip width apart. From here, tuck your tailbone under and inhale, lift your hips up into reverse table. Drawing your heels in towards your hands. Pushing your knees towards the front of the room. And 5, exhale, lower your hips all the way back down. Cross your ankles, lift your knees high again for another bump up. Inhale, bump up. Then out. Okay, Marichi, we have time this week. So, from a pose that used to be an abomination for me, now I almost enjoy it. So you guys get the benefit. Okay, bend your right knee. Bring your heel up towards your right sit bone. This first Marichi A is a forward fold. Your left hand is going to come down towards your left foot. And the ultimate is you will get your shoulder in front of your right shin, but that may take 2 or 3 more classes. Inhale your spine tall. Exhale, forward fold. You can grab onto your right foot with your right hand. Try to keep your sit bones on the mat. You want your collarbones to go towards the front of your mat. 4 and 5. Release, sit all the way back up. This time your right arm comes around behind you. Grab your knee with your left hand. Inhale your spine tall, and then twist to the right. Now maybe that left arm can come over the top of your right thigh. And 5, release, come back to center. Listen carefully, keep that right leg where it is. Bend your left leg. And then tuck that right foot behind, your left foot behind your right heel. This time, it's another forward fold, but with your leg bent, left leg bent. Inhale tall, and exhale forward fold. And maybe this time, your right shoulder can come in front of that right shin. And take your left arm around behind your back. And maybe you can grab onto that left foot or your right hand. And 5, release. Inhale, come all the way back up. This time, right hand behind your hips. Inhale your spine tall. The taller your spine is, the more twist you will get because you create more space between your vertebrae. Inhale, and then exhale, twist to your right. Maybe that left shoulder can come all the way in front of that right knee. And 5, release, come back to center, release both legs out to the front of the mat, and then bend your left knee. Bring that left heel towards your left sit bone. Inhale your spine tall, and then exhale, forward fold, right hand to right toes, and the left shoulder may be able to come in front of that left shin. And 5, release, inhale, come all the way back up. Right hand on the left knee, left hand behind. Inhale, tall spine, and exhale, twist to the left. Release, come back to center. This time, bend that right knee, bring the right heel towards your left sit bone. Come back to the forward fold. Inhale your spine tall and forward fold. And this time, maybe that left arm can come, left shoulder can come in front. Maybe you can make a bind hand to hand behind your back. Remember to get your collarbones going towards the front of your mat. Don't curl up like a ball. And 5, release. Inhale all the way back up. Right hand to left knee. Inhale tall. Left hand behind. And twist to the left. And 5, release. Come back to center. Release both feet out to the front of the mat. And then cross your ankles. Lift your knees high. Ready for another bump up. Inhale, bump up. And kick your feet out in front. Okay, so we're going to do 3 Navasanas. So bend your knees, place your footprints on the mat. It can be together or hip distance apart. Depends on how you want to do it. Start by grabbing the back of your thighs and lean back. This will help you maintain a straight back. And then on an inhale, lift your ankles up. You can release your bind. Three. 4. And 5. Release, feet back down. And then we'll do this 2 more times. So assume the position, as they say. On an inhale, we'll lift your legs up. Release. You can straighten out your legs if that works for you. You can bring your arms out wider to intensify this. Four. And 5. Release. This is also working your flexors. One more. So on your next inhale, lift up. You can bring your legs up high. You can bring your hands up high if that's within your practice. Four. And 5. Release. Cross your ankles, raise your knees high. On an inhale, bump up. Kick your feet forward. Come back down. We're to Badakanasana, butterfly pose. So bring the soles of your feet together. And bring, for the first part of 2, bring your heels in closest, that's hard to say, close to your pubic bone. You'll get a bigger stretch on your groins. Inhale your spine tall. Then on an exhale, again, your collarbones towards the front of your mat. You're keeping your spine straight here. Crown of your head towards the far wall. And 5. Release. Inhale, come back up. This time, move your feet out any amount that you wish. You can bring your forearms underneath your ankles if you wish. Inhale your spine tall, and then exhale, forward fold for 5 more breaths. The only benefit of getting your forearms underneath your ankles is you have more weight drawing your chest down. But lengthen that spine. Your nose to your feet is not the goal. Your collarbones to the front of the mat is your goal. And 5. Release. Inhale, come all the way back up. Push your legs out straight. 1 more bump. Cross your ankles and lift your knees high. On an inhale, bump up. Kick your feet out. Okay, we're coming to Lotus. So everybody has a different Lotus because everybody has different hips, different life experience. So if you can get into Lotus, that would be great. Otherwise, just cross your ankles. Now I'm going to offer this in both sides, just to see what you can do. Do this about maybe once a month on both sides. So try with your weaker side first. And if you can't do it on either, that's no reflection on you, but just cross your ankles the other way. Try to bring one heel to your hip crease, bend the other knee. And maybe this is the day that it works. Maybe it isn't. Maybe you can bring that heel up and over the other shin. We'll only stay on this side for 5 breaths. So lift your spine tall, just rest your hands on your knees. You can be in half lotus, that's okay. It's with one heel on one hip crease. And 5, release. Bring your legs out straight. Now reverse your legs. No matter if you were doing the Lotus or doing a modification, reverse your legs this time. One side feels natural, the other feels unusual or outright wrong. Getting used to your body in all these different positions is really one of the benefits of doing yoga. You appreciate what each side of your body has gone through during your life, what the injuries have done in your recoveries. Inhale your spine tall. And this time we're going to do a forward fold and take about 10 breaths to come all the way forward or as far as you can. So inhale and exhale, begin to walk your hands forward. And as you do that, feel your hips, feel your back. See if you can detect the different muscle fibers taking on stress and tension. Might be able to feel this in your glutes.
The muscles along your spine. Keep your sit bones on the mat, or as close as you can keep them. Begin to deepen your breath. And slowly walk your hands back. Coming into an upright position. And from here, straighten out your arms and bring the backs of your hands on the tops of your knees. You can make a mudra with your thumb and forefinger if you wish. It's not necessary. Inhale. Lift your spine tall, crown of your head up. You can close your eyes and turn inside. Observe. You can keep your gaze on the imaginary horizon on the back of your eyelids, or you can bow your head. Be here for 10 breaths. Begin to deepen your breath. Open your eyes. Release your feet out towards the front of your mat. Press your heels away. And then rotate your feet from left to right. Now rotate your femurs and your hip sockets. Giving release to your hip flexors. And then come down onto your elbows. And all the way down onto your back. Raise your arms up towards the ceiling. And let them float down onto the floor beyond your head. And stretch your heels away from your palms. Pushing your back body into the mat. And then your toes in your fingers. Spread your fingers and toes wide and wiggle them. And here you can insert any pose that you may have missed during the class. Or you can bring your arms back down by your side or far away from your side into T. Walk your feet a comfortable distance apart or bend your knees. Let your knees go outward or inward. If this is your yoga, your Shavasana. Rock your hips left to right to find the right place for your sacrum to rest. And once you get there, take a deep cleansing breath into your nose and exhale it out through your nose. Take another cleansing breath into your nose, out through your nose, and take rest.
Begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your space. Bring movement to your fingers and to your toes, to your wrists, and to your ankles. Gently roll your head from left to right. And when you're ready, walk your footprints up towards your sit bones. Drawing your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And rock from left to right, or make circles on the ceiling with your knees. And the next time you come over towards your right side, pause there in fetal pose for just a moment. Using your right arm as a pillow. And do a quick body scan to detect any tension or stress that might still be remaining in your body, hidden amongst your tissues. And then using the strength in your left hand, push the floor away, rise up into a seated pose. Thank you for sharing your yoga with me this morning. I can think of no better way to start the week than with this practice. And thank you for joining me. Take the compassion and empathy and peace that you practice every time you step on your mat. Take that with you always and share it with each person you might meet. Namaste. My name is Clint, and this has been Ashtanga Yoga. Thanks for coming.